Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Cowboys predicted to cut ties with $21 million starter. The Cowboys have a number of issues in front of them this offseason, starting with the hiring of a new coach to replace Mike McCarthy. But there will be personnel issues aplenty, too, and with a payroll that is already well over the salary cap, the Cowboys will need to axe some players as well as restructure some deals to have room to be able to pursue free agents. Of course, after the way last year's offseason unfolded, there is little cause for hope around Dallas' ability to get creative with current contracts and bring in free agents. But, supposing this team could, potentially, operate like a standard franchise that wants to compete for championships, clearing out cap space should be high on the list. Again, they can restructure some current deals and push salary into the future. Even if they do, though, there are players who will have to be let go to create space and allow for younger, cheaper players to take over. And one of those is safety Donovan Wilson, who has been with the Cowboys for 6 seasons and is heading into the final year of a 3-year, $21 million deal. Cowboys could save money with Donovan Wilson cut. At the Cowboys analysis site, Blogging the Boys, they've pegged Wilson as the team's most likely cap casualty this offseason. They've identified Terrence Steele, too, but the Cowboys have more depth in the defensive backfield to replace Wilson than they do to replace Steele. As the site noted, Wilson is now the veteran at risk of not being retained. With 1 year left on his contract, Wilson is scheduled to count $8.65 million against Dallas' 2025 salary cap. The Cowboys can get back $5.35 million if they make him an outright cut or $7 million with a June 1 designation. It's put Wilson in a neck-and-neck race with OT Terrence Steele for the team's most likely cap casualty this offseason. But while Steele has some mitigating factors given the team's overall landscape at offensive tackle, Wilson doesn't have the same traction at safety. The Cowboys are likely to keep Wanya Thomas on a cost-effective deal at safety and play him alongside Malik Hooker. The Cowboys would need to add some depth, but could probably do so for less than what they'd pay Wilson, who has started 47 games in the past 3 seasons. Cowboys head coach search may still include stealing Dan Quinn's most valuable assistant. All is not well in Dallas Cowboys land. If you've been out of the loop regarding the search for a new head coach, consider yourself lucky. You didn't ask, but let's catch you up on the latest Cowboys rumblings. Just in the 24 hours, Dallas has missed out on Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, who took the Bears' job. Meanwhile, Detroit defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, arguably the second most coveted candidate this cycle, was hired by the Jets. The Cowboys also lost special teams coordinator John "Bones" Fassel, who took the same job with the Titans. Dallas reportedly made a late push to keep Fassel, but they don't have a head coach, so their pitch couldn't have been very strong. Jerry Jones kept the insults coming when it was reported Brian Schottenheimer, the team's offensive coordinator the last 2 years, will interview for the head coaching job Tuesday. There was even a rumor that Dallas was readying an offer for Schottenheimer, but that seems to have been premature. Good news would go a long way right now, and Cowboys insider Ed Werder came through in that regard with his latest scoop on the team's search for a new coach. Cowboys may try to steal Commanders offensive coordinator Kliff Kingsbury from Dan Quinn. Werder circled Commanders offensive coordinator Kliff Kingsbury as a possibility for an interview whenever Washington's season is over. Being that Dan Quinn and company advanced to the NFC Championship game, the Cowboys cannot interview any of Quinn's assistants for at least another week. Kingsbury's stock is at an all-time high right now. He has buoyed Jayden Daniels to arguably the greatest season ever from a rookie quarterback. Daniels is so good that he would have taken the NFL by storm regardless of who was calling plays, but Kingsbury deserves massive credit for building an offense that accentuates Daniels' unique skill set. Kingsbury got a bad rep following his disappointing tenure as Cardinals head coach, but he's gotten elite quarterback play at every stop in his coaching career. That didn't happen by accident. Former Jerry Jones draft crush Johnny Manziel won the Heisman Trophy at Texas A&M with Kingsbury calling plays. Patrick Mahomes ascended to superstardom at Texas Tech under Kingsbury's watch, while Kyler Murray won Offensive Rookie of the Year and made 2 Pro Bowls with Kingsbury as his head coach and play caller. Don't forget Caleb Williams at USC. While Dak Prescott learning another offense wouldn't be ideal, he may benefit from a change in scheme after the worst season of his career. Chargers will probably lose free agent running back, Chiefs, Cowboys among logical fits. Chargers free agent running back J.K. Dobbins will likely be in a new uniform next season despite signing a 1-year deal this past offseason. According to one source, they believe the Chargers should bring back the veteran, but chances of that happening are minimal. Originally selected in the second round of the 2020 NFL Draft, the former Ohio State product hoped to adjust to a scenery under first-year head coach Jim Harbaugh, but still suffering from injuries. He's likely nothing more than a liability. Nobody loves the ground game more than Harbaugh, and while there were a few bright spots from Dobbins, it wasn't enough to get over the hump in the wild-card loss against the Houston Texans. Despite that, the running back made 13 starts while rushing for 905 yards and 9 touchdowns under a 5.0 per carry average. Those numbers look more like a journeyman, so it is likely the Chargers will prioritize drafting a new halfback in this year's draft. However, Dobbins is a workhorse that has a lot of football left, but it might not be with the Chargers. He should receive some type of interest from the free agent market as the running back in a backup role, since the Chargers can't lean on him as the main option. This Dallas Cowboys offense needs a new running back in the worst way. After losing Tony Pollard last offseason, the team didn't do anything but bring back veteran Ezekiel Elliott to help rejuvenate some nostalgia in Dallas. Rico Dowdle was solid but nothing special to offer him a long-term deal, so he'll likely be with a new team next season. The Cowboys will rely on the NFL draft, but the team might be too late to select standout Ashton Jeanty. Dobbins might not be the primary option, but it could help the Cowboys get some type of ground game going for their offense while they lay their hands on a few draft talents.